The African National Congress is today launching its 2026 Local Government Elections Manifesto in Diepsloot here in Johannesburg, setting out its priorities ahead of the November polls. The ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to outline the party's plans to address service delivery, local government accountability and the challenges facing municipalities. Let's go live now to SABC News anchor Thulasizwe Simelane, who is still in Diepsloot for us. Thulas, I see you've sort of changed location now. Earlier you'd been inside that huge marquee where the party faithful are waiting to hear from the president of their party about or charting a way forward ahead of the elections in November. What more do you have for us on the ground? What time is the ANC president expected to arrive, and what are the latest developments there?
Good morning to you, Griselda, once again. You're absolutely right. We've sort of changed things around a little bit because the idea we want to try and do is to give our viewers a 360-degree view of this venue, because the way and the manner in which the ANC is launching its manifesto is rather different from what we are used to in terms of them going to a large stadium and bussing in supporters from across the country. This time around, they're doing it in an open ground here at Riverside View in Diepsloot. So we thought we'd give you an overall view of what it looks like. That marquee that you talk about is right behind me. It's one of two large marquees that have been set up. This one seems to be dominated in the main by members of the ANC Women's League. I've seen people that are people with disabilities that also have been accommodated here. And goodness, Griselda, do they need that shelter from the elements? Because as soon as you pan slightly to the right, you start seeing the main area, main sitting area for the people who will be coming through. And here the ANC has set up a lot of chairs. It's really hundreds and hundreds of chairs that have been set up for people to sit. But it is a scorcher of a day out here in Diepsloot, simply because we are on the back end of winter and it's starting to heat up. But nevertheless, you are seeing people that are braving the elements. But the difficulty that the ANC will need to do to face and grapple with aesthetically is that right at the front, you've got a lot of people coming and braving the elements, but as you go to the back, not many people being willing to do that. So the chairs at the back remain unoccupied. That's not to say they've not been able to bring the numbers they wanted. We can't make that call, but what it is to say is that it was always going to be difficult to expect people to brave the elements in this manner. But as I say, nevertheless, some people are brave enough and sticking it out, demonstrating their support for the ANC. The ANC says it has opted for this format because it allows it to be in contact with the people on the ground. And this is what it's really all about. At the moment, as you come to us, Griselda, the cultural program is underway with a lot of artists performing at the moment. And when they do that, you do get a lot of excitement among the crowd. And part of the aesthetic of a venue like this is that it is dusty, and therefore when people are dancing, in a way, it really makes for a strong visual when people are dancing and the dust is coming up. But let's get into the substance of what we'll be talking about, Griselda. At the end of the day, it is all about the 257 municipalities across the country that the ANC will be hoping to make a good showing as far as those municipalities are concerned. One of them being, of course, the city of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality. And this has been a municipality that has been troubled for the last 5 years. The man at the helm, one of the three names in the hat now to go into potentially being the candidate on the 4th of November 2026 is Mayor Dada Morero, who joins me now. Good morning to you once again, Mayor. It's good to be with you. So we are just reflecting yesterday. Let me start there. Yesterday was meant to be the announcement of the mayoral candidates, and later on it was changed up. Now, I don't know to what extent you'll be able to talk to the politics of what inspired that change. when you went there to that venue in Sandton, were you going there for the announcement of the candidate or the potential candidates?
Well, the ANC leadership had invited us to form part of the event where candidates of the ANC will be introduced. So the expectation, we thought probably there will be an announcement, but the leadership did clarify that we are invited here, one for photo shoots of all the candidates, which we did on Friday evening. And of course on Saturday we're then informed. We are here to introduce all the applicants. Those who were then interviewed have now been shortlisted and confirmed that they are part of the selection once the leadership makes a final selection.
Without seeking to draw you into speculation or any of the controversies and politics, do you have an idea why the format changed at the last minute? Feel free if you don't want to go into that detail.
No, I don't have any view what is the reasons for that. Yeah, but we'll wait for the ANC leadership to then give us the final candidates.
That's fine, Mayor. So one of the things that happened as part of that is that we got confirmation that the city of Johannesburg has now paid Eskom that 5 billion rand debt, which many people would say was emblematic of the governance of the city over the last 5 years, the difficulties that you have faced as a city. It's no coincidence that it was announced yesterday, is it?
We had agreed with the minister and Eskom just around June when we gave them the final schedule of payments. So the last payment was to be made on Thursday at 230 million, which we did, which then meant we have now fully settled the 5 billion that was owed to Eskom. But remember, this was as a result of a disagreement between ourselves and Eskom, where we challenged the billing that we felt were overbilled by Eskom. Then eventually we were able to arrive at the settlement agreement, and then we started paying what was due to Eskom by the city. It was exciting that finally on Thursday we're able to give them the last batch of 230 million.
And are we now, Mayor, on a sustainable path as far as the management of this aspect of governance is concerned? And I'll tell you why I ask. It is a matter of grave importance for the city because it impacts a whole lot of other things. This was one of the gripes that National Treasury had with you as a city when you were one of those municipalities where the equitable share was withheld. Just being on an unsustainable track as far as debt to the bulk service suppliers, your Escoms and the water suppliers. Are we now on a more sustainable track?
No, we are, definitely. And you know that National Treasury were able to clear the issues that they were uncomfortable with the city of Joburg. We cleared those issues. But the decision by the National Minister to force us to pay Eskom was a good decision. But in any case, we were still going to honor and pay Eskom in any case.
Let's cut to the chase of why we are here, Mayor.
Yes.
Because you are the incumbent, you are in the position. And I know that you ANC people like to say it's the collective wisdom of the ANC. But I have to ask you a direct question. A City of Joburg voter, resident, watching us today, asking, why should I vote for Dada Morero? Why should you be ultimately the candidate? Because right now you are one of the nominees. Why should you be the ultimate candidate? And ultimately, why should anyone, taking the record of the time that you've been in office, why should anyone believe that they should vote for you on the 4th of November for you to retain the mayoral chain?
Well, the work that we have put in place since I've been the executive mayor should be able to speak for itself. The work we're doing in the inner city, the work we're doing on bylaw enforcement, the work that we are doing in terms of stabilizing the financial position of the city. So there's great strides and achievements that we have done in the last few months since I've been in this position. And I believe that the reason that we also came here to Riverside was also to demonstrate that we have been able, jointly with the private sector, to deliver just over 10,000 housing opportunities in Riverside, and there's an additional 9,000 to 12,000 that we are just doing opposite Diepsloot, which is an indication that we are at work and we are creating opportunities. The last 2 days I've been doing a lot of allocations of houses to those of the 96-97 waiting list, and we are continuing to provide housing opportunities for our people. So I guess the ANC should be given that necessary mandate to rule, to govern the city, and be given the opportunity to lead it for 5 years. And I think we can do more if allowed to do so.
Mayor Dada Morero, thank you for your time. All the best going forward with the campaign trail. That's the mayor of Johannesburg, but also one of the nominees for mayor as far as the ANC is concerned. So let me just show you now and bring in one of the nominees for the city of Ekurhuleni, Johannesburg Dabati. Are you well, sir?
Well, yourself?
I'm good. Thanks for coming through and talking to me. So yesterday you were announced as one of the mayoral nominees for the city of Ekurhuleni. Talk to me about the process leading up to that and why the people of Ekurhuleni should, the ANC to start off with, why the ANC should entrust you with that responsibility, and ultimately, why would someone in Ekurhuleni see Johannesburg Dabati and believe this is the person that I should vote for?
Yeah, I must say that it's not about an individual. The organization has opened up a process wherein it wants to get the best amongst its own members. More so, it has opened up the process to organizations, professionals, business, and any other civil society to make an input in the process. And this is the character of the African National Congress, wherein the will of the people must prevail. It was a democratic process. We were all subjected into an interview process, and we are awaiting the final decision of the African National Congress, to which is a decision that we are going to respect as members of the organization. Safe to say that the best amongst those who participated in the process will emerge out of a political decision.
What happened with that? Because we were expecting the ultimate candidates to be announced yesterday. Just from your perspective as one of the nominees, what's your understanding of how it changed at the 11th hour, such that we got the announcement of all the nominees as opposed to the face of the campaign in the metros?
It was correct for the movement, in view of the time and space, that it unveils all those who were nominated and participated in the process. Today we are having the manifesto launch of the African National Congress. So you wouldn't want a situation whereby the announcements of the individual mayoral candidates overshadows the manifesto of the ANC. It's proper for the ANC to articulate which is a program of delivery. And all of us who participated in the process of the mayoral interview must be on the ground, articulate what the ANC is going to continue to deliver. We are not obsessed about the mayoral candidate because it's about the ANC contesting election as opposed to individuals.
Let me ask you a final question. You are one of the metros where the lack of a majority on the part of the ANC, or indeed on the part of any other party, led to coalition arrangements that kept switching in Ekurhuleni. Just talk to me about that dynamic and what lessons you take going forward, and how high it sets the stakes such that you will be trying to seek an out and out majority. Talk to me about the Ekurhuleni experience of coalitions, but also difficulties within your own leadership structures as well.
Between 2016 and 2021, we ran a much more stable coalition. Unfortunately, the electoral outcome of 2021 brought about a very big mixture of political parties, and it made it difficult to have a stable government. And these are the consequences of a democratic process in South Africa where everyone has a right to contest. But I must warn the people of South Africa and the residents of Ekurhuleni in particular that our experience of having many small political parties, to the extent that we become subjected into coalition is unsustainable, and to some extent it causes instability, purely because political parties get to be entangled on who gets what, as opposed to how best we collaborate to service the communities. Be that as it may, you would have seen that where there is an ANC-led coalition, there is a greater stability. We've seen it in Ekurhuleni when DA came in. A lot of instability came in, mismanagement, maladministration, which, by the way, the Madanga Commission is now exposing. And that is the period we term the barren years, the period of shame, the period of wrongdoings. Since we have taken over as the ANC, of course, working with the rest of the political parties, there's a great sense of stability. Our plea to the people of South Africa, and our plea in particular to the people of Ekurhuleni, vote for the African National Congress so as to ensure stability and the continuation of the good work that we have done in the midst of many weaknesses that we have encountered.
Let's leave it there. Thank you for your time and all the best going forward with the campaign. Johannesburg is one of the contenders and nominees for mayor of Ekurhuleni. Very quickly, Griselda, I did see Reverend Frank Chikane, who is one of the people that are the nominees for mayor of the city of Johannesburg. Let me bring in Mzwandile Mbeche for one quick take, and then we'll bring it back to you in studio. Mzwai, the event is beginning to unfold, and we are seeing these two marquees packed with people. The area in the center, which is more exposed, has got some seats that are not occupied at this point. As the ANC leadership will be looking at this, what's your sense of how they'll be feeling about how it is playing out as an electoral event, a showcase event?
I think they will have to decide what they do, because we have since gathered that there's a number of people outside. So I think they need to manage their entrances, because sometimes events of this nature can be quite problematic if they are not managed properly. So I was just speaking to some of the ANC officials who were actually saying maybe if they had kind of like managed it properly, this event would have started. Because some of the buses are still out, so once they manage this, and then it should be able to get started. Perhaps the choice of the venue, I know that they had said they wanted to be among their people. Perhaps the choice of the venue for an event of this nature could have been different, because otherwise there's a lot of things that you have to do. I'm sure you can see how even difficult it is here, but I think we'll get over it.
So Mzwai, any idea, because you know, we always look for the theme of what the theme of the local government elections will be about. One of the observations I've made, the ANC has always been known for this theme, A Better Life for All, since 1994, if not prior to that. I've seen that making a comeback strongly. Over the years, I'm not saying it disappeared, it was always there, but it sort of would be pushed almost to the back burner. But this time around, I'm sort of seeing that coming back to the fore. But there's a lot to be done, including the acknowledgement that a lot of local government is just not functional. 39 municipalities are under administration. A lot of municipalities considered to be financially distressed, many of them led by the ANC. What do we expect as far as the theme of the manifesto is concerned?
I think what they want to do, especially them having brought this event to this place where they have done, I would say, relatively well in terms of developing and then in terms of giving life to that slogan, A Better Life for All. Because if you walk around here and you ask the rationale of why it was brought here, it was specifically to showcase that they are able to give a better life for all. But for me, it will be them translating some of these smaller successes to a bigger platform. So the question would be, why is it not happening anywhere else other than this small part of Johannesburg? Because they have been entrusted with power all these years in all these municipalities. So what makes it difficult is their choice of mayors this time around better? Are they choosing people who are equipped to deal with the challenges of ordinary people? so that that better life for all becomes a reality.
All right, Mzwai, I'll release you for now. There's a lot of noise in and around where we are, Griselda, and that's because the energy is picking up. I do want to acknowledge an ANC volunteer. This gentleman came through for us. As you can see, people are just walking all over while we are live, and he took it upon himself to just help us with managing the flow around us. How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir.
What's your name?
My name is Rudolf.
We thank you for helping us out with managing the crowd.
I thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. All right, so that's how it's looking, Griselda. This gentleman on the side here helping us to manage, because as you could see, as the energy picks up and the excitement picks up, people were walking all over the place. For now, we'll take it back to you in studio. We continue to be live with the coverage of the ANC's Manifesto launch. But what has happened now is that they are starting with the cultural program. We are yet to get to the interfaith prayers as well as the messages of support, ultimately culminating in President Cyril Ramaphosa delivering the message on behalf of the ANC on this day of the launch of their manifesto.
SABC News anchor Thulasizwe Simelane live to us from Diepsloot. That's where he's indicated, of course, the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa will be launching his party's manifesto ahead of the local government elections.